Hey, we're live. Hello, we're live on air. And it is week number 11 of the video marketing mentoring program. I also call it the total video solution sometimes, just to make it a little more confusing. So let's go over to our screen share and make sure we're recording. That all looks good. And we have a lot of ground to cover. This is probably one of the most content-rich, info-packed weeks of our program. So I'm going to try and go through this straight through as efficiently as possible. And yeah, we're going to get started. I'll check back on questions and attendees and all that good stuff in a bit. In the meantime, I am not going to do all this stuff because we've been through all this, but we have gone through 10 weeks of our journey so far, and now we are on Module 6, which is all about video marketing. And today, or week 11, is about video strategy and about video marketing calendar as we talk about video marketing and planning. And then next week, our final week, is more about video thought leadership. So looking forward to this one. That, like I say, we've got a lot of material here and a lot of ground to cover. So feel free to refer to the recording in the members area. Watch this again if you need to. I'll go through it, at a fairly good clip. And today, on week 11 on video marketing planning, what we're going to cover is how to make sense of all these new resources, how to integrate video into your existing marketing efforts, how to create a video marketing calendar. This is really good for keeping you on track and keeping your momentum going. And we're going to discuss a process for streamlining and organizing video creation. So this is kind of like a almost like a 3-in-1 webinar, because I'm taking a lot of material here, bringing a lot of stuff together, and kind of taking all of the things we've learned over the last several webinars in the last several weeks and putting it all together. So when I talk about video marketing, when we talk about video marketing, we're really talking about how and when to use video in your own marketing efforts. So you have to consider in your business, where will video create the biggest bang for your buck? How can video help you the most? Will you use it for list building? Will you use it to do webinars and events like I do? Or product creation, or sales pages, or promotions? These are not mutually exclusive. You can certainly do them all, but I wouldn't suggest you try all of them at the same time. So try to break it down into quarters or 90-day increments. It's usually easier if you plan out your video marketing strategy on a 90-day calendar. So try and think of a key initiative or goal for each quarter, and then integrate video marketing into those 90-day plans. I find, people talk about 1-year plans and 5-year plans. I find that just too difficult and not always realistic. So I prefer to do video planning in 90-day increments. You can break your goals down into specific projects, then prioritize those projects and set realistic deadlines. Also, keep in mind how the things that you're doing, the plans and projects, can be monetized. Because at the end of the day, we want these videos to be generating revenue for us in one way or another, either promoting products that we have or just generating revenue in and of themselves. So let's take a look at some example goals. At the time we're doing this live, hey Mike, hey Dot, glad you're here. At the time we're doing this live, it's late August. Of course, if you listen to the recording, it could be another time. But let's just assume that we're going into September, so we're looking at our 4th quarter goals. And let's say, just as an example, just as a case study, that our 4th quarter goals include booking new speaking gigs, preparing for a live 3-day workshop, and confirming joint ventures, and planning monthly webinars with an upsell to products. That's pretty ambitious. Although some of this is actually my 4th quarter plan, because I am preparing for a 3-day live workshop that's going to be in San Francisco in October. And I am not really trying to book new speaking gigs, but I'm always sort of looking for joint ventures. So let's just take this as an example of fourth quarter goals and see how video can support those. So if we were going to, or if one of your goals was to get new speaking gigs or new opportunities to appear in front of groups, some of the goals might be create a hit list of meeting planners and organizers, develop a video email outreach campaign to contact and connect with these people, follow up by sending a new speaker reel demo. A lot of speaking associations want to see sort of an example of you speaking. I think it's also important, if speaking is one of your goals, to add an About Me video to your media page on your website or your About Me page. And you could even create a video course on udemy.com to create buzz and visibility. I recently did a free 4-video course on Udemy, and I have about 1,000 people signed up for it. All right, so now here's an example for those how to use those videos to book new speaking gigs. You can use mailview.com or bombbomb.com to create video emails as direct outreach to the speaker bureaus. You can create an About Me video that's geared specifically towards the media. You can develop your video content to build your Udemy course, and then you can repurpose your Udemy videos into some kind of signature product or signature speech. All right, so let's look at some other marketing goals. And again, these are just suggestions and examples for you. Building your mailing list. This is really important. I do it by doing lead pages with a free offer. So I have several web pages out there where I offer some kind of a freebie in return for your email address. You can also develop and always have something to invite people to offer. This is something we talk about a lot in the Book Yourself Solid program. And as you know, I'm a Book Yourself Solid coach, so I'm a big believer in doing and always have something to invite people to. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. You want to create a social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then you also want to create a video presence on YouTube, your own website, and again on social media. And then finally, and again, these are just sample goals and initiatives, so these are just suggestions and how we'd use video in each case. Develop a webinar schedule to create promotional or sales webinars. Now again, I have a lot of goals in here because I'm trying to just do a wide range of examples. I'm not suggesting that you have to do all this at once because that would be nearly impossible. All right, let's go back to building a mailing list. When I'm trying to build a mailing list or a contact list, I usually create a web page. In my case, I'm using Lead Pages, and I use it as an opt-in page for a giveaway. And then obviously I have to integrate that with my email provider because the names have to have a database or someplace to go. I set up an autoresponder sequence, and then I promote my opt-in page with social media using Buffer, something called bufferapp.com. So for example, one of my opt-in pages is a very, very simple page that just asks folks for their name and email to download a free guide. Again, this is really simple. As you can see, there's not a lot here for folks to do. They just enter their name and email, and they get the guide. So this is one of the ways that I begin to develop a mailing list. I have another opt-in page that does essentially the same thing. It's just a different opt-in page. And again, I'm using Lead Pages for this, so it's really simple. I put an image in the back. I've got my ebook offer with an opt-in form. And again, very simple and straightforward for opt-in pages for building lists. Now let's say your goal is to develop and always have something to invite people to offer. What an always have something to invite people to offer means is it's basically just some kind of regular, consistent meeting or webinar or hangout or something that you do so that folks can engage and interact with you on a regular basis. So you could decide on a free series that you can consistently offer. So for example, not during the summer, but during the rest of the year, I do something on Fridays called Lose Labs, where people can come for free and learn about various video and online resources. So that's my always have something to invite people to, because it's weekly, it's on a regular schedule, not during the summer, of course, but so you want to do this on a regular schedule so that people get used to having it. You can create content for your free event in a webinar or teleseminar, and then promote your event to get folks on board, because obviously if you want to do a weekly webinar, a monthly webinar, or a Google Hangout or something like that, you want people to attend. So what I do is, again, I'm using Webinar Jam to create a webinar registration page. On the webinar registration page, I've got a little video, and I've got an area for folks to sign up for the webinar. And again, I do this every week, every Friday, starting in the fall, and it's just an opportunity to do something free that people can easily come to, sort of a low barrier to entry event, so that I can engage with them and kind of get them into the community. Let's say your marketing goal, on the other hand, is to create a social media presence on the major social media networks. I suggest that you pick 3 social networks to focus on, and no more than that. There are so many that you can really get watered down and just get too distracted with all of them. So I suggest you pick 3. Maybe it's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. For me, it's Facebook, Twitter, and I guess to a lesser extent Google+. And those are the 3 that I tend to focus on. Honestly, I don't spend any time on LinkedIn or Pinterest, and I have a minimal presence there just because you can't be everywhere without spending a lot of time on it. However, you can use a scheduling app to schedule posts, which makes it much easier to be a lot of places at once. So I pre-schedule some posts and content using Buffer app. You can also use Hootsuite or TweetDeck, and then just share relevant content and promote timely initiatives. So if it's Thursday, I might be promoting my Friday Lose Labs, always have something to invite people to. And then you can also share relevant content from others by retweeting or liking or reposting content that folks have already posted. And again, I use something called bufferapp.com to do this, and I just schedule some evergreen promotions or tweets or Facebook posts, and that way I can just always have sort of a baseline presence. And here you can see the Twitter posts that I had scheduled, and usually it's just to offer you know, the opt-in page, free tools, free offers, free guides, and things like that. So that's what I use to schedule my social media posts, so that I don't constantly have to be on Facebook and Twitter doing it live. I also do some live, but some I pre-schedule. And then, again, I like to use a combination of live and pre-scheduled Facebook posts. So in this case, I was promoting our mastermind group that you're in here. This was a while back. And some of the stuff is scheduled ahead of time. Like this, I've got a free new course on Udemy that was pre-scheduled. Some of it I do in real time. So you can see, even though I'm putting stuff up from Buffer, it's showing up on my Facebook page just like a regular post. All right, now let's move on and say that one of our goals was to create a video presence on YouTube and your website and social media. Hold on, let me just go to the chat for a second just to make sure that everything's hunky-dory. Hey, Jackie's here too. Awesome. Glad you could make it. I'm going to go back to our slides here. All right, so now let's say our marketing goal is to create a video presence. You want to create videos that can be evergreen and multi-purposed. In other words, the less time and date sensitive your video is, the more you can use it in various places. Now, as you know, I like to use YouTube as a hub to share and promote my videos. So I typically start on YouTube and share from there. you can repurpose and re-promote videos. I had a client call yesterday, and somebody said, "Oh, I already posted that video last week on Facebook." Well, that's great, but if the folks who were on Facebook at that time didn't see it, it's long gone. You can repost and repurpose and re-promote these videos. I promote videos that are 6 months old, and just if they're evergreen, I take them and re-promote them on Facebook or Twitter. So I try and do that on a regular basis. You can also drive traffic from YouTube back to your website, because ultimately you want to get those YouTube viewers on your website. And then, of course, we've talked about this before, but you want to optimize YouTube for search engine optimization and discovery. So again, on my YouTube page, I've got my little trailer video up front, and I've got playlists. But I can go in here and take one of these older videos and repost it to Facebook or Twitter. So don't think that just once you post your video once, you can't ever use it again. And again, I'm using lead pages to promote my YouTube page. So I'm trying to use this particular web page as a page that's out there to offer a guide, and also to get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So again, it's just a way that I can leave. It's an evergreen offer, an evergreen video, and it can just be out there sort of working for me 24/7 to help get people to my YouTube page and get them to subscribe. All right, now let's talk about if a goal is to develop a webinar schedule, because webinars can be really, really powerful and a great way to get people to your products and services. So you can use webinars to share your content and to upsell your products and services. Oftentimes you may want to partner or joint venture with others who share your target market. So if you are in the wellness community, you can find others who serve that audience but maybe do something slightly different than you, and you can do a joint venture with them and kind of piggyback on their audience to get more attendees. Again, when I'm using webinars nowadays, I'm using Google Hangouts and Webinar Jam to keep the costs low, so I don't have to use GoToWebinar anymore, which was fairly expensive. And then you promote those webinars, obviously, to maintain visibility and momentum. So here's one I did last year. But again, I could probably do this again. I did a webinar called 5 Secrets to Becoming an Online Rockstar, and I used my little Webinar Jam software, I think it was Webinar Jam, to create this webinar registration page. And pretty simple, put the page up, drive people to the page, and try and get them on the webinar. So essentially the process for doing a webinar is you set up your webinar. In my case, I'm using Webinar Jam. Then you create the content, and I use PowerPoint. I mean, this is essentially a webinar, even though it's a class and a workshop. Once it's recorded, it's going to be like a webinar. You promote the event using email, social media, or video. You run your webinar. Again, I'm using Google Hangouts to run my webinars. And then if you want, you can promote a product and drive people to a sales page for that product. So at the end of your webinar, you've offered content, you've added value, maybe you've shared some information, and then you can say, hey, if you want to learn more, I've got this great product or this great service that you can check out on this sales page. So that's the general flow for a webinar. Again, a webinar registration page, you can use lead pages because they have easy templates. So one that I did last August at this time, almost a year to the day, was one that I did with another partner, Janice Pettit, and we just did a webinar to her audience, and we had the webinar registration page. She was the host, I was the guest expert, and we ran our webinar just like that. So they're not all that difficult to do, because essentially that you're just sharing your content, your ideas, and in my case I'm using PowerPoint to share that information. If you do use Webinar Jam, the nice thing about it is you sort of get the replay automatically. Google Hangouts records the replay, and you can have a replay page. So if people missed the webinar, you can drive them back to the replay page and have them go right there and see the webinar that you just recorded. In this case, there's also, because I'm using Webinar Jam, there was also an opportunity to sign up for a strategy session. This was back a ways. We did this a while ago. Now, if you're trying to do this as a list building process, the flow for this is create a squeeze page or an opt-in page, create a freebie. In my case, it was a video series. Drive traffic to that page, again using email and social media. Make sure the names get into an email system, whether you're using Aweber or MailChimp or Infusionsoft. And then once they're in the system, they should have an autoresponder sequence so that they get follow-up emails from that email system. So if somebody signs up for my video series, they get the video series, obviously, but they also get reminders via email to go and watch the email series and to consume the content. So here, for example, I've got an opt-in page that's just a one-sheet on the top 5 video tools I use. And it's just a very simple page that allows them to opt in and get the guide. Once they do that, they get a download page or a thank you page where they can download their information. Again, if anybody wants more help with this, we can use our coaching sessions to go over this more specifically for your business. But again, you know, it's a download page. In this case, I have the freebie on my website, and the reason I do that is because now that they've got something free, I can subtly promote an upsell or another offer, like, hey, check out Video Marketing Fast Path to Cash. You know, if you liked the free product, maybe you'll like the $97 product. And then finally, the freebie is really a very simple one sheet. In this case, it's really just one PowerPoint slide with some of the tools that I use, and this is what folks download and what I offer as that freebie. So again, the freebie does not have to be an elaborate ebook or a video series or something complicated. In my case, it was a one sheet, really easy to create and really easy for folks to consume. It just has my 5 favorite tools on there, and it's as simple as that. Now, if your goal is for outreach or alliances, again, my process that I'm sharing for you for this is to identify the influences in your niche or in your industry. I use something called Contactually for that. I believe Jackie uses that as well. And then I use social media to kind of use for outreach, make the contact, follow up with the contact. Once in a while, I'll even use mailview.com, and then propose a partnership. So you're doing some personal outreach, starting by casting a wide net, but then doing more individual outreach using things like mailview.com. We've shared and talked about Contactually before. You can take a look at it if you want. My link is here below. But this is what I use to keep me on track in terms of who I should be keeping in touch with and who I want to stay in contact with. And really, it's just a contact relationship or customer relationship management tool. Very reasonable, very affordable, and easy to use. And it's called Contactually. And you can find it at bortone.com/keep in touch. So Contactually is great because you can use it on your mobile or on your desktop, really wherever you are, wherever you go. And it integrates with Gmail and all the other things so that you can have a seamless keep in touch strategy. And in my case, you know, it sort of recommends who I should follow up with, who I haven't talked with in a while. It's telling me I should follow up with Nicola Bird and Jody Jellis and Kim Castle, and I can see it at a glance, you know, who I haven't spoken with or contacted in a while, so that I can follow up with them. One of the ways I do that is I jump over to mailview.com and do a video email because it's more personal, it's more engaging, it's going to definitely stand out aside from just a regular email. So if I do a video email or Vmail in mailview.com, it's going to look like this in the person's inbox. It's going to say, you've got video mail. They click on my image, and it plays the video message. So it's really straightforward, really quick, really easy to do that. We've talked about this before, but MailView has a free plan, a basic plan. It's just $2.50 a month, and it goes on up from there. vSnap is another video mail or vMail tool that you can use. Actually, their pricing has changed a little bit, but you can just go to vsnap.com and see that. BombBomb is yet another video email service. I tried this one out. I tested it. I did not purchase the paid plan, but it is a robust, feature-rich video email service, and it integrates with Contactually, I believe, so that makes it that much easier. And again, here's one where I did my I didn't even send this because I was just testing it, and it was after workout, so I was all sweaty. But it's going to help you do your video email and then tell you if it's ready to send. You go on and send it, and you can see you've got a dashboard where your emails are, and you can check it out. They do have a free trial at bombbomb.com. So, and the nice thing about this is I can also send existing videos, like animated videos, so it doesn't always have to be on-camera videos. So if I wanted to send a video email reminder to somebody with animation rather than me on camera, I could do that. You've also got a lot of customization that you can do by typing a headline and adding some body copy to it. So it's very customizable, and a lot of features and a lot of bells and whistles in bombbomb.com. The pricing is by the number of contacts that you have, so it starts at about $33 a month and goes up from there. All right, let's talk now and shift gears a little bit and talk about a video marketing calendar and how to create a video marketing editorial calendar. First, you want to set your overall marketing goals for the quarter, and again, I suggest you do these in 90-day increments. Determine how and where video integrates with the plan. If you're going to be doing a lot of video, you want to set aside a prep day and a shoot day. And I suggest you shoot several videos all at once and just take an afternoon or a Sunday and just decide that's going to be your shoot day, and do several videos on that day. You do want to build in some bumper time because things invariably take longer than anticipated, but you really do have to, again, go with the philosophy that done is better than perfect. Let me take a drink, take a quick look at any questions that might be coming in. So far, so good. I don't see any questions. So we'll keep moving along here. So let's say we're doing a video marketing calendar based on a webinar that we're doing. Now, obviously, you're going to create a registration page. You could even create a thank you video for the thank you page. It's a really personal way to say, hey, thanks for registering. I think you're really going to enjoy this webinar. I look forward to sharing it with you, yada, yada, yada. You can create additional promo videos if you prefer to post on YouTube and social media. You can even create a video for your sales page if the webinar is selling a product. But now that you've got all these videos to do, you want to do a registration video, you want to do a thank you video, you want to do a sales video, you've got to schedule time to shoot and upload and prep these videos. So you can refer to this article that I wrote on thefutureofinc.com, and that gives you a whole rundown on how to create a video plan or a video editorial calendar. For me, it's just if I know that I've got a webinar on, January 9th, for example, I've got to have all my video stuff done by January 8th, so I have my shoot the video on that day and post it the next day. So really, it's just a matter of backing out of your major initiatives and figuring out how and where you want to post your videos. Now, the process that I use, and this is from another webinar, but I think it's worth sharing here as well. The process that I like to suggest, because video can be a pain if you've got to get dressed up and all that kind of stuff, is to do 4 videos in one day a month. So set aside one day a month and have your goal be to create 3 or 4 videos. Now, when I do this, I've managed to do, I actually do several videos a week, and last year I realized that I created over 200 videos in 1 year. And again, a lot of that is what, like, hey, look at Lou's wearing the same thing here and here and here and here, because I did the videos all in the same day. So you can you can streamline the process and make it simple and repeatable, and get to the point where you can do a lot of videos in one day. So I've got my video plan in place. I've got my script and my outlines. My equipment is pretty much already set up. And what I've done is I've set aside, 1 day a month or 6 hours in that day. So 6 hours total per month, and I can do 4 videos in that time. You may want to do more or less. It depends what kind of videos you're doing. But again, if I schedule this 1 day a month and I do my videos in batches, I can crank out quite a few videos. So it also helps to have an accountability partner or buddy or some kind of a group where you can say, okay, will you hold me accountable to doing my 4 videos a month? And then again, you want to break it down into the steps that we've talked about before. We've talked a lot about this before: goals, platform, message, shoot the video, and promote the video. So it may seem daunting at first, but if you break it down into these steps, you can really chunk it down into something that's more manageable. So you're going to determine your goals. You're going to select your platform, which is either on camera or off camera. Obviously, you're going to have to create your script or your message, shoot the video, and promote the video. So again, I suggest when you do your videotaping that you find a place that you can use over and over again. Some people talk about a happy place. I talk about a video place or space that you can use consistently. And then that way you can set up your equipment once and hopefully just leave it up. Like I have my lights set up in my office and I just leave everything the way it is so that I can go in anytime and fire up the webcam and just press record and start shooting video. So you may want to, especially the first time, set aside a full day to tape several videos. And don't schedule anything else that day. I usually do it on Sunday afternoons when I know the kids are at soccer or they're busy and there's not going to be quite as many interruptions or distractions. I just find that it's easier to do it that way. Quick question on webinars from Jackie. What is the minimum length for a webinar? I've seen webinars that are 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I would say anything less than 20 minutes, it's not, probably wouldn't be considered a webinar in the true sense of the word. Typically, webinars are 45 minutes to an hour long, the ones that I do anyway, because that's, people usually plan their days in chunks of hours. But you can do a 20 or 30-minute webinar as well, Jackie. All right, so once your video is complete, you want to upload and distribute it, and you have to decide where you're going to do that. And you want to leverage social media so that you want to put it on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Google+. And again, if you're sharing from YouTube, it's really easy to do that. So it's really easy to leverage social media. But you do have to promote the crap out of it. People are not going to just magically find your video in most cases. You have to put it out in front of people. You have to promote it. You have to put it on Facebook. You have to put it on LinkedIn. Basically, wherever your folks are, that's where you want to distribute the video. And then on video day itself, it's really a prep day and a shoot day. So find your video place. Keep your equipment simple and streamlined. Check your background. If you're on live video, what's your background or setting. You can rehearse your script and hit record. On shoot day, you may want to take several takes. That's fine. Keep recording it until it feels good enough for you. You want to review those first few takes and play it back to see how it's looking. Make sure that everything looks the way you want it to look. Again, I can't stress this enough. Done is better than perfect. Just choose the best take. It doesn't have to be perfect. Choose the best take and go with it. Now, when you're creating videos, I usually recommend that there are a couple of must-have videos. One of those is a welcome video or an opt-in video on your home page. On my home page, I have an offer for a free video series, and that's what I promote to get people to opt in on my home page. You can also do an expert tips series because it establishes you as an expert and builds credibility in your niche. And at some point, you're probably going to need some kind of video to promote your products or services, which is more like a sales video. So if you were going to take this into a 90-day plan, and the first month, you may want to say, okay, I'm going to do my 4 videos, and the first 4 videos, I'm going to do a welcome video, a thank you video, an about me video, and a product video. So you spend a half a day or so shooting and prepping these videos, and then you can post 1 a week, and you've sort of got all your videos done for that month, and you can just post them when you want. If you're going to do this into a second month, maybe you want to do a video tip series this month, and you want to create 4 videos, 4 video tips. So you can do your video tips intro, then your video tips 1, 2, and 3. Again, the video tips that I do are really short. They're like a minute or less. And once you've got them, it's very easy to share them and post them as you go. Now, if you're going to take this into an even higher level and do 3 months worth, then you want to think about slightly more complex videos like a signature product video or a sales video or a webinar video. Whatever your marketing initiatives are, you can do videos to support those. And again, we're talking about doing this in batches so that it's easier. You can do several videos at once and then just rinse and repeat. So you've got your 4 videos, you script them out, keep them very short, try and shoot 3 or 4 in one day. Editing is optional. If you want to edit, you can. And then release 1 per week, and you've got a video every single week. So that's pretty much it. That's the system. You want to try and batch your videos, and if it's going to be, you get your video, you get your equipment set up. You want to make sure that you're, if you're on camera, that you are, dressed appropriately. You want to have time to rehearse. But for me, I like to shoot several videos in one day and batch them so that I've got a stockpile that I can release over the course of that month. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to do all these kinds of videos. These are just suggestions. I do think at some point you have to have an opt-in video on your homepage. I think it's important to have a welcome video on your homepage, and I also suggest that in that video you ask your viewer to give you their name and email in return for some kind of free offer. I also think it's important to do an expert tips series, because these are evergreen videos that you can use. Let's say you do a series of 5 one-minute tips, whatever that may be for. You can just do quick little 1 to 2 minute videos, do them all at once, and then you can upload them to YouTube once a week. You can upload them to your website or blog. You can put them on Facebook. So expert tip series get a lot of mileage because you can use them over and over again in a lot of different places. And then, of course, at some point, if you are promoting a product or service, you're going to want to have some kind of a sales video for that product or service. I'm going to go over to the questions here and see how we're doing. We still have everybody on the line. That's awesome. All right, let me know. I know we've covered a lot here. This might be one that you have to go back and rewatch or review to kind of take all the info, because there's a lot of information in here. We went through doing 3 months worth of videos if you are feeling that ambitious, and then the whole process of doing videos in batches once a month or so, trying to shoot 3 or 4 videos in a day and releasing 1 video per week. That's going to give you a strong and steady and consistent video presence, because you're going to have a lot of content to share. So I'm going to go over to the broadcast and see if there are any questions here. We're getting to about the 45-minute mark when we like to try and wrap it up and answer any questions. I think that's it. I don't see anything. So again, I know I've been talking with some of you folks on the one-to-one sessions. Looking forward to more of those so that we can take a look at this and and apply it to your business and your specific situation, because everybody's situations are going to be different and everybody's businesses are different. So we'll customize this for you and your business. Now next week, is Module 6, Week 12, and we're going to talk about video thought leadership. So in our final week, even though we're going to have a couple of bonuses, we're going to dig even deeper into strategies for going beyond simply being visible to becoming known as a thought leader and influencer in your industry. So we're going to talk about how to stay in the spotlight and maintain your visibility, credibility, and profitability. Again, that's going to be really helpful, because it's one thing to be visible, but it's another thing to be consistent and to be a thought leader and an influencer. And videos, like video tip series, can go a long, long way in helping you establish that thought leadership. So we're going to talk about video thought leadership in our final week. We're getting into some heady subjects here, and we're going to start to pull this all together. So let me just check and see if there are any questions here before we start to wrap things up. I will refresh here. I don't see any questions coming in. Mike, yes, I will see you tomorrow on our call. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so we'll be doing our one-on-one sessions that come with this program, if you haven't already done so. And we'll be wrapping things up next week. We're also going to have a couple of bonus sessions and some Q&As and things like that. Now, you guys know where and how to find me. You've got my personal number. Obviously, you can always go to the website. You can email me at vip@loubortone.com. And I'm at Lou Bortone on Twitter and at facebooklou.com on Facebook. So that's it. Check the Facebook group. Let's have some activity and interaction there if we can. And I think that is going to wrap it up for this week. Wow, we covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Feel free to check out this recording, which I will post for you in the Facebook group ASAP. Again, a lot of material here. So if you need to go back and review any of it, that's totally fine. It's going to be there. It's not going to expire. The recording is always there for you, and I'm going to put it in the Facebook group and in the members area as well. So look forward to catching up with folks I haven't caught up with yet. And thanks again for being here and for your time. And feel free to check out those recordings, check out the Facebook group, and we will catch you next time. Thanks again for being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.